Hey guys, Trevor with Shadow Systems. It's Technical Tuesday, and we're out at the range and we're going to talk about and shoot the MR920 versus the new CR920XL. So this is a common comparison being made right now in the questions and comments. I mean, isn't it kind of just like another MR920? Well, in a way it is. They do have similar specifications, and I want to explain what those similarities are, but in particular call out their differences, because there are definite differences which are relevant to you if you're trying to decide which gun makes the most sense. And so I'll show you all of those things. So first, I have an MR920 right here. This one happens to have a Holosun 507C on it. It's the Shadow Systems blacked out version. And then here I have the CR920XL. So there they are, sort of side by side. The two guns are similar in terms of their 2D profile viewed from the side. Okay, so you can see right there that they're pretty similar size overall. And that is because both of them have a 15-round magazine and both of them have about a 4-inch barrel. But there's enough differences that I want to highlight now why you would maybe choose one versus the other. Okay, so first, MR920 has an interchangeable backstrap system. So the backstrap is removable on the MR920. It enables you to replace the backstrap with one which suits your own natural point of aim. And so what I mean by that is the gun adjusts the angle of the grip so that the sights line up naturally with how you point. So if you're used to other brands or other guns, you can quickly find one that suits you. The CR920XL and all CR models, they do not have an interchangeable backstrap. So that backstrap is fixed, and it will only represent what is basically our neutral backstrap. So the ones that the most commonly used for people on these guns, the one that ships from the factory is called the neutral backstrap, and that's really what this replicates. So it's going to be consistent with an MR920 right out of the box, but if you really find that to be wrong, which most people don't, this will be, you know, maybe not exactly what you want, and you would want to have that adjustable backstrap. I will tell you that I've never heard anybody say this gun points badly, so I wouldn't worry about that, but that's a difference to highlight. You can see here as well, the MR920 has a removable backstrap, a removable magazine well, whereas the CR models do not. We gave you a nice big wide open magazine well on the CRXL and the CRX, so you have a mag funnel that's there and it's great, but if you really want that removable mag well that really widens it out, that's not available. Probably the only other frame difference to highlight would be that on the sides of our guns, we have this textured patch. We have that textured patch on both, as you can see, but on the MR model, it has a little more of a ledge below it. So there's just a little more to kind of grab onto. Some people might say that controls recoil a little more, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so obviously the biggest difference overall is it's a thinner gun, right? So the CRXL and CR models are about 1 inch wide, whereas MR and DR and XR models, they're about 1.2 inches wide, roughly. That doesn't sound like a big difference on paper, 0.2 of an inch, right? 1/4 inch almost. But in terms of feel and carryability, it's a really big difference. So if you find that most guns out there in the market, most 9mm guns are kind of wide for you, or if you find that our MR models are kind of wide for you, you're really gonna like the CRXL or CR models. In terms of carrying on the belt, it's a pretty big difference. So you're gonna have a much thinner gun overall with all the CR models, okay? Magazines. So Shadow's magazines for the CR models are a proprietary nickel Teflon magazine. It's a beautiful magazine, extremely well made, 15+1 for this gun. We also have an 18+1 extension. So you can run 18 rounds in this gun. The gun will look like this with the 18 in there. Obviously a ton of firepower in a very thin and concealable package. So the MR models, they use Glock style magazines. So if you have a huge bin of Glock mags in your closet, you're gonna wanna maybe consider the MR, DR, and XR models, which take Glock mags. That's a big difference. That's one of the reasons, by the way, why the MR, DR, XR models are wider, but the CR models are thinner and they take our mag. We don't charge an arm and a leg for these. Our magazines are like 30 bucks or less. So you're not getting screwed on magazines if you have to buy them. And it's a really nice mag, folks. I'm very proud of this magazine, but that's a big difference. Okay, after that, it's like what's on top of the frame. Recoil impulse is gonna be very similar. The new CRXL has a different approach to slide stroke and geometry so that it has more slide movement, goes further back, gives the rounds more time to come up than any gun we've ever made in the CR line. So that just means it's very ammunition tolerant. It also means it's a soft shooter. It's definitely the softest uncompensated CR model, and it's very similar to the MR. Some people would even say softer. I think they're about the same. The other difference would be the optic cut. So obviously MR models take a full profile, large format optic, whereas the CR models are thinner, and so they're going to take the Holosun K models or Shield optics, some of the smaller ones. So that's just a difference as well, smaller optic profile. Okay, price is different. Last one, the MR models are around $1,000. The CR models are like $830-ish. So you're saving over 150 bucks between the two of them. That's a big difference. But in terms of like shootability and performance, minus those things I just walked through, overall pretty similar guns. All right, let's go shoot them a little bit. We're gonna shoot the MR first. I've got a couple targets out there, some steel targets. Let's see the gun in profile first. I'll shoot maybe 5-6 rounds through this one and then the other one, and then we can come back and compare. All right, so here it is, viewed from the side. Very controllable. And then here's this guy. Awesome. I'll just kind of hose these targets a little bit and finish these mags. Here's a CR920XL. And then MR. Pretty awesome. I mean, they're all pretty centered up. Here I got an 18. So CR920XL with 18 rounds, obviously a lot of firepower. We'll just put 2 until we run out. Pretty awesome. Oh, I got one more mag. So there it is with the 15 plus 1 mag. I'll shoot some weak-handed and I'll just really let it. I mean, you really can't get more limp wrists than that. So as you can see, pretty reliable gun. That's the difference between the CR920XL and the MR. I hope this was informational, helps you make a decision. They're both great guns. As always, questions or comments, post them below, and we'll see you next time.